On Tesla, what's changed? Why are you convinced that Tesla, the car company, is delivering even as Elon Musk bewilders everyone?
I mean, it's amazing. Elon Musk has made such a sideshow of himself that people started to forget about, including myself, the underlying business. And all the headlines are about Musk does this, Musk does that. And then you start reading about the car. So once I scrape that past, and as a short seller, I'm always rechecking my thesis. And up to a few weeks ago, I was short. And I'm rechecking, then I'm like, oh my God, this car is just dominating. And the Model S is still dominating. Not just dominating, they're just completely smoking the competition. And then I'm like, well, can they make money? So I started to read more and go more and deeper and deeper. And I realized that for all these years, I didn't really understand the Tesla stories. I'm understanding it more. Now, I'm not this uber Tesla bull, and I know there's still a lot of factors, and execution is still there.
Right.
But I think being short, going into this quarter, knowing that he just made earnings a week earlier, right on top of Ford's earnings, and knowing that the company's finally hitting stride with production of the Model 3, and I see the short interest, I'm like, oh no, that's just wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking at the short interest, and it is still elevated. So you think the October 24th new date for earnings is a positive sign? I want to know about where we go in terms of capital needs for Tesla, because there's a lot of worries that always they need to raise more money, might have to therefore add supply to the equity out there. You're not worried about that anymore?
I mean, we'll know in about, what, like 26 hours, 27 hours? See how much, if they generate free cash flow. Musk said, you know, for years I've doubted Musk. When I heard the word Gigafactory, I laughed. There's so many different things that Tesla said they were going to do, and I laughed. So sure enough, I mean, I think the guy had the quickest settlement ever with the SEC. He actually got the SEC to work on a Saturday. So when he says there's going to be cash flow positive, possibly this quarter, I'm not going to doubt it. I'll wait and see it.
So here's the thing. We need to put Tesla in the context of the bigger automotive picture and demand as well. Auto sales as a whole has plateaued. They peaked in September 2017 at an annualized rate of 18.47 million. Would Tesla be subject to the same industry headwinds, cyclical headwinds as everyone else?
No, that's the amazing part about it. That's what really surprised me. Not only is Tesla eating from BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, but they're also eating from Toyota and Honda. People are actually paying more money to drive a Tesla. It's a revolution that I actually underestimated the way people are buying these cars. So the numbers that you're talking about, 100% true for other automakers, not for Tesla. It is what it is.
Where, therefore, does the price target go for you in terms of you've got out there you've run some models?
So this is where it gets tricky. Because the real question, and that I always said as a short seller, is at the end of the day, it's a car company. But we're basing those estimates on profits on old school manufacturing. So the more you read, the more you see that, you know, by not sourcing as many parts, by not having as many parts, doing away with the dealer networks and unions, where does this model take you? And you don't know. And, you know, Monroe and Associates out of Detroit, one of the leading auto industry experts, said they could do over 30% gross margins on the Model 3. I'm sure they'll do more of those on a crossover. So we don't know. And that's where it's become a black box. I'm not even looking at the shared mobility or Solar City. Let's call all that call options. I put a sensitivity analysis in the story on just selling cars globally.
Now, I wanted to get to pot stocks as well. Oh, wait, just before then, sorry.
Yeah, quickly, one last question, Andrew, because you write in your note that you're still pursuing, well, to sue Elon Musk over the price target that they put out, 420, that tweet, you lost money, and the fact that they used overall by putting out that tweet that they would hit that sort of price point. What, therefore, are you still sticking by? Why are you still wanting to sue Elon?
Well, it's just business. On that particular day, I was short the stock. He said funding secured. Funding wasn't secured. I want my money back. That's it. That has nothing to do with my position on the stock today.
Right. It has nothing to do with your outlook on Tesla, the company, either at this point.
Nothing at all. If the stock goes to 800, 200, that lawsuit lives within itself. It's that one particular day.
All right. So self-contained. Let's move on to the self-contained world of marijuana stocks, or perhaps not. You were shorting Cronos and Tilray. Have you closed your shorts, or is there still more downside to come here?
There's still more downside to come. I mean, possibly, you know, if somebody wanted to buy, you know, if you wanted to put your foot in right here and buy some Canopy, that would be the leader in the space. But yeah, Tilray is just a low float story. I think Cronos is not going to deliver for REC for their investors. It's a longer story, and I was also short, some other smaller names in Canada. It fell apart a lot faster than I thought. I mean, I knew it was a sell the news event. I didn't know it was within 3 or 4 days.
And Andrew, I mean, interestingly, though, we still see companies coming over to the US to get some more investor base. We've just seen Aurora list on the New York Stock Exchange as well as over in Canada. Could the added volume, the more stocks to be able to get involved in, also drain out the appetite from the market?
I mean, there's a difference between added volume and hysteria. So what we saw over the past few months, which is pure hysteria, it was completely removed from all fundamentals. And, maybe it'll come in more, and it would be great if these stocks do become investable. Let's let them put out a few quarters. You don't have to be such a rush. If you believe they are long-standing businesses that are building, real businesses that will stand the test of time, you could buy it next quarter or the quarter after. Let's see how they do.